Cheap drugstore. Cheap drugstore. Cheap drugstore.
Today is our last full day at the Santa Marta Marina in Colombia before we start our journey south for Cartagena. So being as we wanted to do something fun for our last day, the rally had organized a nice day at the beach that would take us on an excursion to the Colombian National Park. All sounded great, but as usual, it turns into a little more adventure than we thought.
I have but one question, Mom. Which way to the beach? From the looks of it, it's that way.
There's no bar.
You're taking us to a beach with no bar?
I know.
What were you thinking?
I know, I can't believe
it. So yes, today we get a beach day. They're going to take us to a nice beach somewhere, probably about half an hour drive I think away, and that's our ride. So it's shaping up to be a nice day, sun is out, nice and hot. Looking forward to it. So we had just enough time to make a quick stop in the mini market and pick up some drinks and snacks for the day at the beach. Then it was back on the bus and on the road. Now to put this in context for you, the beach at the national park that we're going to is only about 4 or 5 miles up the coast from the marina. So if we went there by boat, we could probably do it in about 45 minutes. But being as we're going by road, we have to go inland through the city, back through the suburbs and out into the country where we go around a mountain, between the mountains, and then back into the national park for the beach. So all in all, it takes at least an hour by road, not including detours, which you're going to hear all about real soon. But I do have to admit, sitting behind this great big picture window and watching the landscape change from city to country was fascinating. The diversity in lifestyle and culture from one small community to the next was literally mind-boggling. But then as the towns fell behind, the roads cleared again, until we diverted down one side road that turned out to be under construction by one guy with a shovel. And the only detour we had around it was covered with all the gravel that he was trying to fill all the ruts in the main road with. One of our lowrider buses tried to speed through the trenches but ended up getting stuck, so at this point we're figuring we're probably gonna be here for a while. But the guy kept shoveling dirt into the trenches, and fast forward about 20 minutes he started letting some of the higher buses through to pack down the soil. So then it was time to try one of our buses again, and this time he got through. But was that good enough for our driver? Nope, there he is, shoveling dirt in the trenches. But it did make for some fun entertainment for those of us on the bus.
Okay, we're gonna try. Everyone, fasten your seatbelts. No problem.
Back on the road again and finally making our way into the park, which was actually more like Jurassic Park. It was completely gated off and full security. The Colombians take preservation of their nature reserves very seriously. Even after the main entrance, we had to wait for a second guard to motor ahead of us and opened up the secondary door. So of course, with tonight being the last night in Santa Marta at the marina, we had our final departure meeting to get everybody prepared for the trip and have our weather briefing, which I think you could safely say we were all hoping would be a little better than it was.
We all leave.
Endless Summer left the other morning at 0600, and they arrived in the anchorage at 1400. So only a very, very fast run. They were making 8.5 and 9 knots all the way down. I was surprised how much wind they reported. Actually, they reported back 25 to 35 knots most of the way out there, and they said the seas were enormous, or the waves were enormous.
Hearing that the waves were enormous, I don't think really prepared anybody for what we really did find out there. The next part of our trip takes us southwest from Santa Marta down to Puerto Valero, which means we have to round Barranquilla, and the weather at Barranquilla always looks like this. So between the wind and the sea state that this kind of wind generates, this is a notoriously bad stretch of water. But that is part of a different story. Tonight after the meeting, we were all invited to a nice dinner put on by the marina, and then they arranged some local artists to come down and play some music for us. And some of you might remember the only instrument I ever took any interest in was the fiddle many, many moons ago. So for me especially, it was a real pleasure to hear this guy play. In this box lies the biggest story that you're probably never going to hear on SSL, because I hate reporting negative shit. But this one, all we can do is laugh tonight and just know that it's here. But this little box, look, that's my mom's handwriting right there. Sent by my mom, November 9th, Barrie, Ontario, Canada, destined to meet us in Curacao. And it was paid expedited freight, over $200 to get it there within 48 hours, 2 days, 3 days, even whatever, would have been fine. Somehow, the package got diverted. We're not really sure why, but my mom filled out the paperwork exactly perfect. Even the waybill, everything had the right information on it. Somebody at UPS for some reason changed 2 little letters, Curacao CW, which is in the West Indies, to Curacao NL, which is in the Netherlands. So my box all of a sudden ended up on an airplane to Holland. Okay, people screw up, I get it, they make mistakes. But then the box arrived in Holland and it sat on a shelf, boom, for 3 solid weeks. 3 solid weeks. Now I'm sorry UPS, there are certain things I can forgive, but you really fell down on that one. And to everybody else, let's just say I'm gonna leave the story there, but UPS and I, we're gonna have words. I just got the box here in Bogota, or in Colombia. It came from Bogota. And even then, I got held ransom again, or held hijacked, whatever you want to call it. But so this box has been in transit for over 5 weeks now, including 4 countries and about 15,000 miles for what was supposed to be a 2-day delivery from Canada to Curacao. We've got over $700 in transit fees invested so far, and it finally arrived in Bogota. And of course the UPS agent discovered there was a $1,000 camera inside, so they decided to forego the usual yacht in transit customs allowance and impose a levy on the box of almost 1,000,000 pesos, or over $300 US, which was completely out of line and unnecessary because Colombia Customs allows for all yachts in transit an exemption of customs and duties on anything coming into the country. But UPS decided otherwise, so they imposed this levy on the box and said if I didn't pay it immediately, they would sell the box to collect the fee. Nice. And it didn't even get kissed first.
Yeah, already.
Enough of that shit. Let's just see what's in the box. I've been waiting for this box. You have no idea how hard it's been for me to keep going without having all the stuff that's in this box. Two things primarily, but... this. Yes, see, I forgot about this. This is... Yes, it is. This is flags. Canadian flags from one of you guys. And I can't tell you thanks enough. That's awesome. Very much appreciated. I'm afraid I can't make out the name on here right now. It says Hamilton. I don't know if that's name or where it came from, but thank you very much, and we will find out and make a proper thank you. What else? Oh, look at this. That's my mom. She loves Christmas. She sent me a new Christmas tree. Boat size. New SSL Christmas tree. How cute is that? Thanks, Mom. What else? I think this is it. Of course, SSL, we go through a lot of cameras. So I had this one. This is one of my Sonys that was broken from water damage and had to be sent back for repair and was repaired. And now it looks to be all repaired and hopefully working. We're going to test that soon. Nope. Turns out the camera was broken in transit, and it only came with a 30-day repair warranty, and it's been 5 weeks in transit. So I guess we chalk up the $500 repair bill to expenses and write another one off. Let's hope that's working. What else? Oh, extra flags. Mom always sends me flags too, so we got lots because I go through them fast. We have a lot of wind down here. Licorice, of course, my mom loves licorice, so she sent me licorice for sure. And our number one, well, not our number one thing, Montreal steak spice. Of course, we've been missing this. That's our favorite go-to spice, but I'm a little bit of a shock here that there's nothing else. Did we miss something here? That was not a good scare. I thought, oh my god, don't tell me somebody took the cards out of here. This is the thing we've really been waiting for. I've had no access to any of my accounts in over 5 weeks because my credit cards were lost and debit cards, and the banks issued new ones, but they could only send them back to Canada. So they sent them to my parents' place and my parents sent them here. So hopefully, yes, we can get these activated now. Activate right there. So that's next. And then we're going to try and go get some of my million pesos back, since I'm out of cash now. Alright, but that's it for tonight's story. I'm burned out. Time for a cold one. Hope your guys' day was better than this one, but all's well that ends well, right? Cheers. Fuck. 6 a.m. December 15th, and we're just doing our last minute stow and go, getting ready to set sail for Cartagena. So, as you can see, we're just packing up. Got a few things to put away here yet. That cabin's ready to stow the air conditioning, and then we are ready to go. So we got just a few more minutes. We'll get the engine warming up here, get the tiki put away, and we're almost ready. Crew is on deck, getting lines and things stowed. How are we looking up here?
Good.
Everything good? You got our safety line? Cool.
Is that one right?
Yep. Okay, dinghy is stowed. All power lines, everything is aboard. So we are ready to go. And we're just about ready. We can tie off those side restrainers for the dinghy. So we'll just do a last minute secure on the dinghy. Make sure it's well supported, because this is going to be quite a rolly ride from what we've heard from the rest of the rally that has already made the trip. We got a couple of days behind, but nothing too severe. Just had some work needed to be done here first, and waiting for my package, which we now have. So we are ready to go. So now we just need to put Tiki home. Hey, pretty girl. Hey, pretty girl. We'll get her set up with some breakfast and water, and we are on our way. Okay, engine warming up. Okay, the instruments on. Air conditioning stowed. Lines are run. Safety line on. Just need instruments. Got our Iridium Go system on already, so it's tracking. Okay, instruments, check. One final check around the boat, and I do believe we're ready to cast off the lines. Cartagena, here we come.
Well, I call on 14, I call on 16, nothing, so yes we go. I don't see any major traffic out there.
Try 14 again. That's the channel, right?
Yeah. Santa Marta Port Control, Santa Marta Port Control. There's a sailing vessel, sophisticated lady.
No reply?
Nope. Bye Santa Marta.
No, I guess they're not looking, so out we go.
It's too early for them.
Alright, well, no reply from port control, so we set sail, and our next stop is down towards Cartagena. We're going to stop at a little bay, what is it? Puerto Valero?
Puerto Valero.
Valero. So we're going to stop at Puerto Valero for the evening, for the night, and then first thing in the morning get up and either head straight to Cartagena or possibly down to Rosario.
Yeah, something like that.
Set of islands called Rosario, and that's just south of Cartagena where the rest of the fleet is right now, and they're spending 2 days there until they head into Cartagena on the 16th, I believe, maybe the 17th. So we're going to decide if we're going to go all the way down there first, or just for one night, or just go straight to Cartagena and meet them there when they arrive on the 17th. That's the plan. Let's see how it unfolds. Well, mainsail is set. We got a second reef in the mainsail, and it, of course, may not look like we need it right now, but I'm almost positive when we get out there about 10 miles, you're going to see why we put in the second reef early. This area is notorious for huge winds about 5 to 10 miles offshore, and we're going to set a waypoint about 5 miles off the tip of Puerto Valero, and that is a very notorious area for big waves, big winds, and just horrible conditions, swamping boats, rolling boats. So we're going in with a little extra caution because we heard the last round of boats that went down, they were being conservative and still doing like 9 knots. So we're going to do the same and just set up early instead of trying to fight it afterwards when we're already, you know, in the mess. So best to go out prepared and safe and not have to put anybody in danger up on deck. But as you can see, we've just finished stringing up our safety lines. So we've already got our lines run fore and aft for tether lines for our harnesses. So we'll be good to go even when the shit hits the fan. Now we don't have to worry about anybody falling overboard. All right, we good, skipper? How are we looking? What wind you registering? 7. 7 on the beam, so that's pretty much, we're making most of that wind. So I think once we get out past these hills though, you'll see it pick up rather quickly. It won't take long. Tiki's excited. Going sailing, Tiki? Ain't going sailing? Yes, hey pretty girl. Hey pretty girl. Hello. Good girl. Going sailing. Woohoo. I can really see the clouds filling in back by the mountains over there. Yeah, beautiful area. Been underway for about a couple hours, but still not picked up any wind yet, so we're still motor sailing offshore, doing about 7.5 knots. Wind almost dead astern, a little bit off the starboard quarter. But the waves are getting bigger and the seas are getting rolly, so we're getting rolled about pretty well already. Nothing major, but a lot of you are wondering, you know, how the new lift system for the dinghy is working. And I can show you in this kind of weather is exactly what you want to test it in, because when you're rolling, you do not want this thing slipping side to side. So as you can see, we'll wait for some waves to hit, but it is rock solid. And if you look at the bars up at the top, you'll see there's very little flex in the whole system. It stays very stationary. Even though we are rolling around pretty good, there's no side-to-side motion in the bar at all. Same thing over on the other side. And the waves have calmed down a bit now, but it's been rock solid. So, excellent job on the lift system. Respects to FKG, they did an awesome job on that one. It's really done well for us. It's easy to put the dinghy up and down. The hoist system works amazing. Great for one person with one winch. Can't argue with that. We got everything we dreamed of and more. So thanks to Highfield and FKG, both come together and made a really good system for us. (9 a.m. and we are sailing. We finally got the sails to fill. We got some wind filled in behind us, which is nice, and cut the motor. So we've been sailing for about half hour, maybe a little bit more. And it's beautiful conditions, but yeah, of course the waves are still rolling. We had a couple of nice 3 meters go by that rolled us pretty good, so I had to go down and steady some more stuff and put away computers and all that. Just in case. Don't want anything hitting the floor unnecessarily, so best to just put it away someplace safe. But yeah, we are getting an average of about 22 to 23 knots of wind right now, just off the starboard quarter. You can see right here. Gusts up to about 25, 26, but averaging 22, 23 right off the starboard quarter. So all in all, a very nice sail so far, but we are expecting the wind to steadily increase. So just battening down, getting ready for that. Get ready to roll in, furl in some of the jib as necessary. Second reef on the main is doing well. It's not smothering the jib completely this time, which is good. So we're making good progress. not used to seeing that color behind you, Alcino. Nasty.